It's like walking around a movie set. You've seen everything on the telly before. In Hollywood, oh, the train man's coming.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Microphone. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, can you hear my mic all right? You can now, it's turned on. Hey, I remember the last time I came to Australia. Well, the first time, actually. I've been 3 times. And I started off north of Brisbane in the back of this old banger of a car, went down through Brisbane, down to Newcastle and Sydney and Adelaide, sitting like this, mile after mile in the back of this sodding car, talking to next to no bugger. It were great. I'd like to thank Adam and all the team for putting this event on so magnificently, and I just ask one thing of you. I want no discord today. Well, actually, you can have discord, just don't blame me for it, okay? Because I'll tell you for why. A few days ago, I turned up at immigration at Melbourne Airport. 20-hour flight, knackered, and I'm standing there and in the line, and I go over with my passport, and it was amazing because she stamped it immediately, and I thought, that was quick, no questions. And I'm waiting for it to come back, and she turned around and gave it to some guy who was waiting behind. Would you go with this gentleman, sir? I've heard those words before, many times. And so I followed this fella. They were very nice, very courteous. And he takes me into these back rooms and hands me over to this lady, who takes me into this kind of bright white room, like an Agent Smith type room. And she puts this document in front of me that I have to sign to say that I've read it. And it said a number of things, but this is the key thing. Section 501 of the Migration Act 1958, the Act provides a discretionary power to refuse to grant or to cancel a visa if a non-citizen does not meet the requirements of the character test. Moi? A non-citizen will not meet the requirements of the character test if, among other things, there is a significant risk that they will vilify, incite discord in or represent a danger to the Australian community or segment of the Australian community. I think it's a good idea. I think we ought to expand it. I think we ought to have a character test for government ministers and officials. Reckon? I think so. I think so. Because if we did, Canberra would be a bloody ghost town, wouldn't it? And Westminster and Washington and all of them. Character test. Discord. Definition of discord. Lack of agreement among persons, groups or things. Oh, call the bloody army out. Mustn't incite that. Tension or strife resulting from a lack of agreement. Dissension. Well, that shut Parliament down for a sodding start, isn't it? A confused or harsh sound or mingling of sounds. Parliament again. There you go. And finally, inharmonious combination of simultaneously sounded tones, a dissonance. So if anyone's got a trumpet, play it in tune or I'm in the crap here, okay? And I was in a bar in Bermuda after I'd spoken there, just after 9/11, and I was watching CNN live. And I saw Bush stand up and say, at a town meeting, as they call it, a public meeting with obviously selected guests, as usual. And he was asked by a little boy called Jordan what he was doing on that 9/11 day. And he said, well, Jordan, he said, I was at a school. He said, and I was, just before I went in the classroom, he said, I was looking at the television, he said, and I saw this plane hit the World Trade Center. And he said, this is word for word, he said, and I thought, what a terrible pilot. That's what he said.
That one. I always have a problem with technology. I've got a friend, you know, he kind of builds things, discovers things and invents things, right? And he invented the other day, he said, invented this rocket to fly to the sun, you see. Strange man. I said to him, look, you can't build a rocket to fly to the sun. It'll melt. Oh no, sir, he said, we sorted that one out. He said, we're going at night. I've just come back from America, you know. And the Clinton thing's still going. Well, you've heard about all that stuff, I'm sure you have, about Monica. And it's interesting, you know, in America, you know when they're asking people to sign something? They say, put your John Hancock on this, you know. The guy that signed one of the declarations. And I told him, I said, in England, like, when we want someone to sign something, we say, put your moniker on this, you know. I said, it's taken a whole new meaning in the last year, that thing. But the church are involved in the Clinton thing now, you know. The bloody church get everywhere. You know, the Vatican have brought out a new commandment, the Clinton commandment. Have you heard that one? I saw it on CNN. You know CNN, claptrap, no news, it must be true. Yeah, it's called the Clinton commandment, and it reads, thou shalt not comfort thy rod with thy staff.
I mean, he's just been told, by whatever means, that a plane has hit the World Trade Center. He's the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief. What does he do? He goes into a classroom and reads a story about a pet goat. Interesting use of goat. Anyway, he's now told the President that a second plane is at the World Trade Center. What does the President do? He continues to read a story about a pet goat. And now we know what was really said here. He came in and said, Mr. President, America's under attack. No planes at the World Trade Center. Okay, Andy. As soon as I know what's happened to this goat, I'll be right out. It's all a frickin' lie, the whole bloody thing. 6 air traffic controllers who dealt with 2 of the hijacked airliners on that day made a tape of their experiences and what happened and what they were dealing with. And the tape was destroyed by a supervisor without anyone making a transcript or even listening to it, the Department of Transport said today. It was destroyed by FAA Quality Assurance Manager, who crushed the cassette in his hand, cut the tape into little pieces, and then dropped them into different trash cans around the building. Do you reckon he didn't want us to hear it, or what?
But, as you know, I am someone who is known to bow to authority and bow the head, so I'd like to say that I take the warning extremely seriously, okay? I take the document extremely seriously, and I've thought of nothing else. I shall watch every word I say today. You got a bloody laugh, it's so daft. And I guess there will be someone in the audience who's come to monitor what I say, otherwise there's no point in signing the document. And I'd just like to welcome them, wherever they are. And I really do hope that by the end of the day, they will have found it within themselves to get a life. And then their children and grandchildren might be proud of them, instead of asking them, Mummy, Daddy, what were you doing when this state came in that now controls every area of my life? Oh, I was helping to do it, dear. Yeah, okay.
Before that, that's basically the area of the hole. Must have been a sodding small plane, that's all I can say. And there was that hole on the other side. They said the reason there was no wreckage is the plane disintegrated when it hit the building. Well, a bit of it didn't. It came out the other side inside. What was that?
Look at life. Someone said to me the other day, in fact, they've said to me many times over the years, similar things, what's life all about? I mean, you're born, and then you grow, you go to school, then you go to college and they teach things and stuff, and then you get a job. Most of the time it's a job you don't like. Gives you no satisfaction, but you do it because you have to do it because you have to earn money to live and survive. And then you get older and you kind of had children and they go through the same thing. And then you get even older and then your body starts to go, and you start getting pains and it's more difficult, and then you've got lots of health problems, stuff like that, and then you die. You know. And if you've pleased some guy with a beard or whatever, then you go to a nice place when you die, and if you haven't,
on him and I'll walk in, okay?
I wonder where Keith should have gone.
It's David Bowie, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is, yeah.
With his money, he's doing this. Isn't it great though? Amazing.
Yeah.
It's all. They must meditate, isn't it?
It's a form of meditation.
They've got to go into the form of meditation.
But they are artists after all. Oh, really?
I do understand. Come on, dear, let's go.
That's funny, isn't it?
This is
the bearded woman.
Yeah. What do you mean you thought it was her? You got a beard.
Exactly. What was he thinking? Look at this guy here.
That's his taste for women.
Crikey, look at this guy here. You know, and I thought aliens, you know, were yeah, I have, yeah. Here we, I've got English there somewhere there. Look, there you go. That's crazy.
It's crazy. I'm not crazy though. Life's not crazy enough.
No.
It's stupid sometimes, but it's not crazy enough. This is Veronica Keane. This is Robert Green.
Hello, Veronica. Very nice to meet you.
In Crane.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, yes, yes.
This is AM.
Hello. Hi, Veronica. It's very nice to meet you. Hello. Hi, hi.
How are you, Veronica?
Oh, Mario.
Are you alright?
You're fantastic.
Oh, I'm knackered now, darling. How are you anyway? How's it going? How's it going?
It's going very well. I'm going to reveal an awful lot that I need you to be involved in.
Alright.
I've left it downstairs with Linda.
Okay, I'll see that tonight. No problem.
Yeah.
How's your health, alright?
No.
Not good?
Being attacked.
No? You ought to see...
I'm coming over the 29th.
And you're going to see Mike.
Yes.
You're going to see Mike
He's
Lambert?
here and I haven't seen him.
What's on the... Yeah, well...
29th.
Tell me when you're coming,
Yeah.
and I'll arrange it
It's
for you.
all written.
I'll arrange for you to see Mike Lambert. You ought to have a once-over with him.
Yeah, definitely.
You know. Because you leave it to the doctors, well, you know what they are.
I do, unfortunately.
Third biggest cause of death, after cancer and heart disease, doctors.
A friend of mine, whose family produced
Strange but true.
David.
We'll go and have a look, shall we?
Yeah.
See, you see we're in Eastern Europe, can't you? Ukraine on a Saturday morning in the winter. But I've just come here and there's loads of snow, but all the roads are going fine. All the trains seem to be working and people are going about their jobs and their lives. In England, chaos. Oh, it's snowing! Only go out if absolutely necessary. Where did I put that shovel, Bill? They're out here shoveling now, special shovels. They know what they're doing. This is Igor. Big Igor.
Big Icke.
I'm
yeah.
6 foot. What's he? Like my son, Jamie. Hey. How do you pronounce your name? Oh God, I keep forgetting. Ozana. Ozana, in the highest. Nice to meet you. This is the Aviation University in Kiev. Hello. Yes, mate. If I'm here, I'll be able to read it, won't I?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But if this could come forward, that's actually a nice height, I think. If this could come forward, it used to be about here. Let me get me thing here. But if that's there, and I can do this, can't I? Yeah. Or, if there's a little table, because I don't want to stop anyone over here seeing me
Okay.
with this big thing.
Okay.
So if there's a little table, put the laptop on,
So you're over on the 29th then?
I'm over on the 29th, my
Okay.
dear. You better be there.
We shall make bread. No, we shall break bread. We won't make bloody bread. God, I could burn a salad, me. What do I want bloody cooking?
And you have done before.
Oh, I have done, yes.
Yeah, remember.
Oh my God.
Burnt boiled eggs.
Yeah.
Oh, I could burn anything.
We're now on a bus at Kiev Airport, okay? And it's packed, loads of people. And over there, like, not many strides away, is London. This has got to be the shortest bus journey on planet Earth. I can't wait, the suspense I'm applying brakes, I'm stopping, we're there. Oh my God.
And I need your strength.
Do you? I need my bloody strength. I haven't bloody got any.
Oh my goodness.
If I was a horse, I'd be taken to the yard.
I think I would as well.
I'd be dog meat by dawn.
Oh my goodness.
How you doing, Em? All right?
I'm good. I was just thinking about that thing ages ago. We said, how are you feeling? So I'm feeling pretty bad. And I said to you, well, yeah, here's 10 pence. Go and get yourself fucking put down. You took the 10 pence off me. It was a long time ago. You've come a long way, haven't you? A long, long way.
AM goes back to the days when...
93.
When phone boxes were in no danger of being full when I was speaking.
He sent me, just the other day, he sent me a piece of film from, I think it was it 96? No, 94.
Yeah.
And he said, do you remember this? I won't actually say what the expletive was. He said, but do you remember, he said, absolutely nobody would turn up in those days, which they didn't, did they?
I'll tell you what the funny thing is about that, AM, you know. What AM's talking about is the fact that she put an event on for me at the Neptune Theatre in Liverpool in 1994, and I turned up. Oh, we
had 50 people.
There were 50 people! It held about 800, didn't it? Or 600, 50 people. Yeah. Yeah. It's like I said about when I spoke in Chicago and 8 people turned up. I could have stayed in England and phoned them all. But this is the thing. Is 50 people turned up, but we filmed it for a video called The Robots Rebellion. And if you go on the internet now and you put my name in Robots Rebellion or Neptune Theatre Liverpool, it's about, the different versions, one major and then others, about 150,000 people have watched that now.
Exactly.
150,000 people worldwide have watched a video of an event that 50 people turned up to in 1994. And that is, if you keep going, you get somewhere.
That's right.
And my God, man, 99% of people would have given up on what you're doing. And it's this tenacity they can't deal with. When you're not frightened of them and you won't give up,
absolutely right. They live by fear.
What can they do? They don't know how to handle it.
No.
That's right.
Where the building fell and the plane was supposed to have hit, I mean, here's a thing. This is right on the end here. Here's a book. And here's a computer. Imagine, can't you? Did you just hear something? I mean, there's not surveillance cameras. There's surveillance cameras at the local shop. There's not surveillance cameras all the way around the Pentagon and looking in at the Pentagon. Put the tape in, darling. Let's see and we'll go away.
The Earth's not round, you're mad. By the way, if there are people here, I'm sure there must be, who've never heard my stuff before, all the very best. Because we're going to go into some very strange places before this day is out. He's just said the Queen's a lizard. He couldn't have done, he couldn't have said that. He did. Anyway, men in dark suits, they're everywhere, these people. They breed. It's like luminous jackets. They're everywhere. Men in dark suits, front men for a force that I'll get into, who are running the system on behalf of those that control the system, and not for the people, which is why the decisions are against the interests of the people. It's real simple once you know what's going on. And they come from certain interbreeding bloodlines. You know, this guy is one of them. Shows what interbreeding too closely can do for you, really. Old Georgie. Boy Georgie. And it just really is a confirmation of just how ludicrous this system's become and just how much control the people do not have lost, that a complete idiot can become president of the United States in the way that this man did.
These people, 7 of these people at least, have been tracked down by the mainstream press. They're still alive. What do they do, parachute? I mean, what's going on? And then you've got these Qurans everywhere. They left them in bars, in bloody hotel rooms and bloody cars. I mean, what were they? The Islamic equivalent of the Gideons? Who were these people? And then I sat in my front room and I watched a newsreader tell me on the BBC without laughing, just a few days after 9/11, that they found a passport from one of the hijackers. I mean, was it singed? I mean, what were you? I'm not a physics major, but paper passport, I think there's questions to ask here. And then there was an ITV television documentary a year after 9/11, and they asked the same question, and the FBI said the hijacker's passport is a rumor that might be true. This is,
like I say, we think the world is sane. Well, people in this room don't, but so many people do, when it is utterly insane. And what keeps people from understanding this? The constant hypnotic trance that we put in. You are feeling sleepy. Tick-tock, tick-tock. You don't want to know about pepper bombing cities. Watch this. Shut up. Quick, honey. She's going for the car. Whoa.
This is the official FBI timeline of Mohammed Attar. They said that him and this guy, Abdulaziz Al-Amouri, who turned out not to be, actually, instead of being in Boston when they were going to hijack Flight 11 in the morning of September the 11th, they drove down to Portland, Maine the night before. I mean, you know, was it a better hotel? I mean, what's going on? So, and he said that they left their hotel on the morning of September the 11th at 5:33 to catch a plane at 6 o'clock, which is the only one that would have got them onto Flight 11. Did the alarm not go off? Did they oversleep? I mean, what are we talking about here? See them dashing out the hotel. Oh, I've rolled it up. See the time? Knickers, pants everywhere. Oh.
Collapsed. Right? Fainting, passed out. I'm standing there, like this, in the room. Actually, I think it's like that, I'm standing there like that. And suddenly, gone. Next thing, and I'm lying on the side, on the floor, coming around. And I'm thinking, what the hell happened there? And I saw it. The only thing I can remember is I was standing there like that, and the last words I heard was this guy on the telly saying, breaking news, Barack Obama has won the Nobel Peace Prize. You increase troop numbers in Afghanistan, you announce last week you'll attack anyone you think is a threat to America, and you get the Nobel Peace Prize. You couldn't make it up, except that, with Obama, it's always made up. That's how we have the image that he has.
But don't look at that. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Look at this. Shut up. Hey, quick, honey, the Steelers are going to score. Cool, yeah. I've got nothing against that. I love sport. But if we are in a situation where that becomes the focus of our reality at the exclusion of everything else, then while we're looking here, hell is going on here to stitch us up in the way that we have been. Oh, shut up. What's on the telly, honey?
This is Abdulaziz Al-Amouri, who's supposed to have been but wasn't the night before 9/11. He looks like he's going to kill himself the next day, doesn't he? Yeah, but that's not Al-Amouri, that's Al-Amouri. This is a Saudi airline pilot who was sitting in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and heard on the news that he just hijacked a bloody plane in America. He went into the American consulate there and said, I think there might be a mistake.
Oh, yeah, you know, just to show you that nothing ever changes. There we go, there we go. They say, you know, if you want to find the right people, follow the money, right? There is another way, I see it anyway, from my observations, I think it's from my observations, follow the bomber. That's so we're in this...
Tick-tock, tick-tock, well, you don't want to see that. Hey, quick, honey, Paris Hilton's half naked in the back of a limousine. Come and look, it's really good. And that's the new religion. Instead of living life, hey, this is me, I'm going to live my life. Ooh, isn't that she got a nice dress on? There's show, isn't she, and stuff. Oh, look, she's going to marry so-and-so. Oh, they've been divorced, yeah. It's the new religion, the celebrity. The religion of celebrity. I'm just in the supermarket. Oh, yeah, I'm getting some beans. They're up there. They don't have to shop in the supermarket because they're different.
Video in which he admitted it. We did not reveal the operation to them until just before they boarded the planes. Eh? Now, come on. They're boarding. Over here, over here. Right. You know those big towers? And before he became Secretary of State, Donald Rumsfeld was on the board of a European engineering giant called ABB. And he was on the board when they sold nuclear technology to North Korea. And then he becomes Secretary of State and says, they're dangerous, North Korea, they've got nuclear technology. Yes, you sold it to them, you silly sod.
We're seeing it unfold by the day. The other choice is that we stop shaking in our shells or shaking in our boots. Stop keeping our heads down because we think it's easier that way. And we start to know thyself. We start to understand the full, extraordinary magnitude and genius that we really are when you sweep away, delete the programming that has put us in the state that humanity has become. And when you reach that level you stop taking this nonsense seriously. And when you stop doing that, it stops being intimidating to you. We're told, American word you hear so often, we're told you must comply. Compliance, that's what it is. The police state you must comply. You must not incite discord. You must comply. Well, I have this thing, I call it the non-comply dance, you know. And that is when you start to beat to this different drum and you don't comply. You don't comply with your own enslavement. You don't comply with your own servitude. And we stop building and acquiescing to the building of our own prison. Comply! No. Do what we say? No. Your house is foreclosed. Leave. No. Hundreds of thousands of people in America, I was there for 2 months recently, hundreds of thousands of people every month are losing their homes. Now, hold on a second here. Let me just follow this round just a little bit. They're losing their homes because they've lost their jobs. They've lost their jobs because of what the banks have done. But now, because they've lost their jobs because of what the banks have done, they can't pay their mortgage to the banks, and so the banks come along and take their home when the banks have caused the problem in the first place. And hundreds of thousands of people in America are leaving their foreclosed homes every month. Why? Stay there. Refuse to leave. Then say to the system, okay, deal with that, darlings. Hundreds of thousands of people every month. You've got to come and take them out of there. Well, we can't. Of course you haven't. It's only possible for this nonsense, this grotesque injustice to happen because people acquiesce. Oh, well, we better leave. Non-compliance. Ooh, I'm inciting discord. Good. If we really look in the mirror and see the true reflection of ourselves, this system will collapse.
And I love this one. It was in a place called Palestine, I think it was Palestine Square, something like that. There were the people there watching it come down. I don't think too many myself. On the front of the Evening Standard, there they are again. What? Where did they come from? And then what you do is, as someone pointed out, if you go through the crowd, you see the same guy over and over again. What they've done is they've taken a shot off the telly of a few, and they've just kind of made them smaller going back. You can trust the media. They wouldn't lie to you. They'd lie to everybody. There you go.
So, let's get real bloody bizarre now. If you've never seen my stuff before, it's time to leave.
They had facial experts look at all this footage of Saddam, and they found at least 7 or 8 different Saddams. And have they got the one at the moment? I don't know. Apparently, according to newspaper reports, his wife was taken to see him, this present Saddam, and it said that she arrived from Syria with an official escort and then entered the prison, emerging only moments later, pink with rage and shouting, "This is not my husband, but he's double. Where is my husband? Take me to my husband." American officials rushed forward to shield Mrs. Saddam from perplexed Russian observers, trying to insist that Saddam had changed quite a lot in custody and she probably didn't recognize him. Oh yeah, there was a bit of wreckage. I can see them now. Yeah. Hey, I think we got away with it. God. Now, what the plane was supposed to have done was smack onto the ground just before it hit the building. They got the lawn right quick, didn't they? Alan Titchmarsh must have been flown in.
Genetically. And when I'm talking about love, I'm not talking about I love you, saw you down the disco, darling, not that. I'm talking about a level of love that you really have to experience because there's no words to describe it. And when I was in that ayahuasca state, the opening line of this female voice was, the only thing you really need to know is infinite love is the only truth, everything else is illusion. In other words, the existence of one infinite consciousness, that's the only truth. Everything else is illusion. It's the manifestation and manifestations of that consciousness in many and various ways. But the manifestations are the illusion. The consciousness is the base reality of everything. And one of the line from one of my books, love is not something you're in, it is something you are. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. When you look at the 1960s, on one level it seemed very nice, you know, oh, this, you know, love and light, and you hear it, yeah, okay, love and light, yeah, and? Okay, the control system's increasing all the time, more and more control, love and light. Yeah, okay, so like I said, it's love and light. What's the answer to more love and light? And so it goes on. And, you know, for me, consciousness, first of all, in its balanced higher state, does not do fear. And it don't take shit either, right? And it doesn't run away from what we need to do to face something we desire to change. And I see in what we call spirituality so many examples of how what is called spirituality is just an excuse to escape from facing what we need to face. Oh, just love and light and everything will be fine. Well, actually it won't. What we need to do is to look this stuff in the face and not acquiesce to it and do what is necessary to change what we don't like. Not to run away, because that is what a lot of this New Age stuff is about. I hear people say, well, in the New Age, we've got to overcome fear. And then the same people say, that stuff that Icke talks about is frightening people, you should stop. Well, I thought you'd overcome fear. What are you talking about? Right? Either you've overcome fear and you can face the stuff, see what's going on and let's deal with it, or you haven't overcome fear, in which case you're running away, claiming that you've overcome fear. And it's, again, cognitive dissonance. It's lying to ourselves. I've overcome fear. Who are you trying to convince me? You know? And there's that. I saw a great line in a book once. I read years and years ago. It was called E.T. 101, I think it was called. And it described the New Age as people who were in a holding pattern above the airport refusing to land, right? And I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Now, when I say New Age, I'm talking about this whole area where everything's love and light and you mustn't say anything negative and what have you, because that's bad for the energy. And what they end up doing is nothing. And, you know, I love this thing where they say you mustn't say anything negative. Well, something that's negative is actually subjective, right? If I look over your shoulder and I see a tornado coming, now, is it negative for me to say, hey, behind your shoulder, tornado coming? What's your reaction going to be? Ah! But I've empowered you. It's coming, it ain't here yet. You can take evasive action. Is it more negative to say nothing, and then when it hits you, you're up in the air? Well, I didn't spoil the energy by frightening her. No! You know, she's going bomb overhead 30 feet in the sky. What do you mean? It's not negative. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's all part of I don't want to face what is. And if we don't, then what is never changes, but actually becomes more powerful in its influence over our lives.
This is before they built a village and put a road through it. This is the biggest stone circle in the world, I understand. Okay, we've got a member of the Skeptic Society over here. Sorry about that. And oh yeah, there's a few Bush supporters as well over there. Look, there you go. There you go. Vote Bush. There you go. Everything the government tells you is true. You know. Oh, great. And what they use...
There's this saying, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. This reptilian group is the one-eyed man. And what they have sought to do, and they've done it brilliantly up to this point, is they want to make humans blind. But there are other forces at work which can be accessed, which these reptilian entities cannot access. Because of their state of being, they cannot access that level of awareness. And if they could access that level of awareness, they would very quickly double the toilet roll order. Because there are things happening that they are not aware of because they can't access that level of consciousness, that are in the process of bringing this down. The end of limitation and limitlessness, the more you stop thinking I can't and you realize I can and I am, and the control system is now weeping in its beer because it cannot control that level of awareness of self and self-identity. And that's why when you look at the structure of the system, it's all structured to hold us out of that self-awareness. The education system does it, just indoctrinates a system of limitation, of identifying with the body, identifying with the name, identifying with the experiences of who we are. The media is underpinning that 24/7, 24. Hey, watch our 24-hour channel, and 24 hours will tell you who you're not, but what we want you to be. Go on, turn us on. Hey. And so this is the fundamental ground on which the whole control system imposes itself, and on which the control system will collapse.
Here's another lovely shaped stone, this. God. Oh, hello. Vote for Hillary. I love sheep, me. Lovely, lovely animals. It's the human variety that give me a problem. I know, I agree.
Yeah, when I took a psychoactive potion for the only time in my life, 2003, I had a fantastic experience. Not everyone does mind. People make their own choice. I'm not recommending it or not recommending it. But this female voice talked to me as loud as mine is now for about 5 hours about the nature of reality. And it was hilarious. I mean, my legs were in the air a couple of times. It was just painful. It was so funny. Because it was just laying out what a bloody illusion we live in and how funny it is that we take it seriously.
One journalist who writes for a British national newspaper and has done some really good stuff on the fact that climate change and so-called human-caused global warming is a nonsense, and it's a complete, construct by the system to get us to change society in a certain way because of a problem, climate change, that is not actually being caused by human activity at all. But when it came to covering this Holly Gregg story about establishment paedophiles, his reaction was, it's too hot to handle. No, it's not. It's not too hot to handle. It's just you're too lily-livered to handle it. That's the difference. And no story is too hot to handle.
Exactly. We need some men with backbone and spine out there.
Exactly. I mean, they've got balls like peanuts, some of these people. They call themselves journalists.
And I just hope you didn't get taken on this one, and I hope that you're just not...
Look, mate, you believe what you want to believe, right? End of story. Other people listening to this program will have another take on what to believe, and they should be respected on that. I'm putting out information. People make of it what they will. If you want to believe I'm making it up, then please feel free. I don't give a damn, frankly. because how people receive my information is none of my business. So, you know, where do you want to go with this?
Well, I almost wonder if you've done damage to the
oh, here we go. Well, you see, there are certain things that other researchers put out, which other people in society who come from a different belief system say, oh, that's ridiculous. How can he say that? That's far too extreme. And they could be accused of the same thing. Well, I think you've done damage to the cause. I tell you what does damage to the cause. It's holding back on what you believe to be right, because A, you fear what other people think of what you'll say, and also those that will not go into certain places because their preconceived belief will be under threat if they go into those areas of information. Therefore, they simply don't go there to protect the belief system. You know, we can all say that different people in different areas of this whole conspiracy research movement are doing damage to the cause. No one's doing damage to the cause if they're putting out what they believe to be right and the information that goes with it. We need to start being much more comfortable within this conspiracy research movement with other people having another spin on what's going on. And we need to start uniting on what we agree on instead of becoming disunited by condemning people who have a different spin than us on other things. You know?
I can buy, the Illuminati are a bunch of Satanists that they, at certain levels, rape and murder little children. They get some sort of joy out of this. They do these weird human sacrifice rituals. They do the blood drinking. I can understand all that. But this whole thing about them being shape-shifting reptilians, there's no photographs, there's no nothing. You have a couple eyewitnesses of people. I've been around people who've been on LSD before, and they've seen people turn into clowns.
Lucifer.
Say that again?
Show me a photograph of Lucifer.
It's pretty slick, man. But we can deductively...
It's a question that comes out of what you're saying. Show me a picture of Lucifer. Hey, he's talking about Lucifer. He's got no pictures. I mean, you can take this man seriously. So, this is just daft. But then again, you have a right to be daft, mate.
Okay. Hey.
And, it's like in the days of Gandhi, his philosophy was non-violent, non-cooperation with the system. See, the system only works because we cooperate with it. We, every day, put the bricks and the mortar together for our own prison. If we would not touch the aspartame-ridden soft drinks, if we wouldn't buy them for our children, if we wouldn't drink them ourselves, if we refused to touch genetically modified food, if we refused to support and take part in wars of conquest, which are not about setting anyone free, but by further imprisoning them, then there would be no wars of conquest. George Bush and Tony Blair are not in Iraq fighting in the streets of Baghdad. They're in their offices, swigging whiskey or whatever. I have this, a solution to wars, certainly modern wars. We have a law that anyone that declares war has to fight in the front line from day one. End of wars. George Bush had been in the front line in Iraq when the first bullet was fired. He would have been under a bed in Houston when the second one went off.
And that's why our kids and grandkids are not going to live in a fascist global state, although for a few years it is going to look like that, because we're at the cusp, and the control system is going to be kicking and spitting and trying to impose itself for the next few years. But sorry guys, have a cup of tea, forget it, open your bloody minds, stop trying to control, because nothing to worry about because you're infinite consciousness anyway, and just get on the airbed and flow with a bloody new energy. Stop fighting. Don't be silly, I don't.
This is typical. This is a BBC reporter who's reporting on 9/11 that Building 7 has fallen. It was in the shop behind her, right? It fell 20 minutes later. And then when you point this out, people say, so you're saying the BBC's in on the conspiracy? No, mate. I'm saying they let the press release out 20 minutes sodding early. That's what.
I don't fear these entities. I feel for them. I feel for them. I mean, imagine waking up in the morning and realizing that they're still them, terrified of everything, terrified of their food source, terrified of their resource source, all dependent on humans staying asleep. And we ain't staying asleep. Vast numbers aren't anyway, and so they're going to wake up even more fearful with every passing week that their food source and their control system and their means is more and more under threat from an awakening humanity. I mean, rather you than me, guys, you know. Come and join us. Let's have a beer. Stop being so silly. That's what I say.
Oh, God, it's the way you tell them, honestly. God. Oh, gee, you must take up stand-up.
Can I get your name, please?
Detective Inspector Wells. I have got something to say, though. I have got something to say, though. I rely on this. I rely on the fact that I am wearing a costume, a fancy dress costume, right? And you've got the audacity to say to me that you suspect me of causing a breach of the peace. You're having a laugh. Make sure that all goes down your plum. You're having a laugh, you are. Oh, let's go. Let's go. You're having a laugh as well. You're a mug.
You'll have your time.
You're having a laugh, you are.
You'll have your time to make your...
You're seriously having a laugh. I'll tell you what, I met some muppets in my time. I'll tell you what you think they're not. I'm wearing a costume, a fancy dress costume.
Chris, can I get your house keys so I can feed the rabbit? Chris, can I get your house keys so I can feed the rabbit? Oh shit.
We've got 2 prisoners on here.
It's 2 on here. How many police do we have attending? 2 dozen? This is quite unbelievable sting operation that's just happened. I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
Listen, Intimidation! What's the most important role? So we're not leaving. What's the most important role? Let it go, let's all leave. Let it go. Let it go and let's all get out of here. You let him go, we'll go. You let him go, we all go. Right? End the problem, right? Stand down, right? That's the end of it. How many coppers are you going to need?
It's the rule book mind, where people have given up any connection to consciousness, and they've got the rule book and they've just inserted it into a slot, and that then filters all their sense of reality. I was out with Jamie. We're going down what you call in America the freeway, the motorway in England. Actually, not far from where Scott comes from, actually, and he's desperate for a wee, so there's no way to go on a motorway for miles, so we turn off into the back streets of a place called Eastleigh, right, and near Southampton, and eventually, after some time, and it's getting critical,
he's wiggling.
We turn into this, what you call gas station, and I start putting some petrol in the car. He goes in and he comes back like holding everything that will move, and he said they won't let me go to the toilet. So I thought, this is ridiculous. So I go in to the people, and there's 2 young girls there who, how can I put it, they wouldn't win Brain of Britain. In fact, they would probably not win Brain of that gas station. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said, look, my son wants to go to the toilet. He's desperate. We haven't got a toilet. I said, well, what do you do when you want to go? She said, we go to the staff toilet. I said, so you've got a toilet then? Well, yeah. I said, the boy's desperate. Look at him. Well, it's against the rules. You can't go to the staff toilet. So I said, where's the bloody manager, right? And the manager, I call for the manager walks in, this woman, she was only a small woman, but somehow she kind of looked down on everybody, you know.
Including you, who's 6'3" or 4.
You know when this part of the nose it kind of points upwards, you know, because the nose is so much in the air, right? So I said, look, excuse me, I said, either I'm going crazy or someone here is, and you know, my boy wants to go to the toilet, right? He's desperate, look at him. And you've got a staff toilet. So
Can he use it? You know, no, not allowed staff and go in the staff toilet in public. I said, why? Why couldn't you make an exception? Great line. She said, well, if we did it for one, we'd have to do it for everyone. How many people desperate for the toilet do you get in a week, a month, or a year, you know? And then the funny thing was that other people in the queue, instead of seeing the nonsense of this, you know, as you would, look, lady, the kid's desperate for the toilet, let him go, don't be silly. It was like, how long you going to be? And it's like, oh my God, and it kind of encapsulated to me just how a few can control the many.
Yes.
You've got a basic injustice here, quite clear. This person can't deal with the injustice because she's on page 25 of the rule book, you know, clause A3 triplicate. And the people in the queue are not bothered about the injustice, they just want to get to the till to pay. And that, you take that and you play it out across the massive humanity, and that is the mentality that allows the few to control the many.
Exactly. That's why I wanted you to bring it up, because it's a very simple thing that every one of us goes through, probably on a daily basis to one degree or another. But it's no different than what you were talking about, the structure of the political system and the making of laws. We're buying it right down to whether or not we can wee somewhere when there's a toilet right around the corner.
This is what we've just been talking about, Regina, of course. Okay, you bring it back. Basic fairness, basic justice, basic integrity, basic fairness. Here is a boy, he's desperate for a wee. You have a toilet over there. I see a way out of this, right? It's so simple. But the rule book, no, the rule book says you can't do it. Well, what does your brain say? You know that. What does your heart say?
What's your heart say?
What's your mind say?
Exactly. Well, this illustrates the point. But I think now we can work around to the moon matrix. I want to talk to you about the moon.
This